Hello, welcome to Tony's Bonsai. After my last video working on the oak leaf holly, I've got a couple more different types of holly to work on today. So let's start with this Japanese holly, Ilex crenata. I love Japanese hollies. I think they've got a wonderful small leaf and really great potential for bonsai, and I've got quite a few of them. So what am I going to do with this one? Well, first of all, I need to get rid of all this weed off the top. In garden centres, especially when you're buying off the bargain rack, you often get trees that are a bit neglected. This was £1, so, you know, I kind of don't expect it to be in completely mint condition. But all I have to do with this stuff is just pull it off the top like this. It just comes up like an Axminster carpet. Job done. I will put a bit of soil just on the top of my own bonsai soil because there are a few holes. So I'll just replace it with some of my own bonsai soil, and if there's any surface roots that have been sort of revealed by me pulling that moss off, this covers them up and helps it. Now for the most fun part, which is deciding what to do with the tree, what direction it's going to head in. We've got a couple of branches on one side. We've got a thick branch over here. It continues up. Now, at the very minimum, this top branch is going to go. So I can take that off straight away. I know that's going, and I'll use this for a cutting. So I know that's gone. And what effectively this tree now becomes a kind of a twin trunk tree really, because it kind of divides into two separate trunks here and here, which is fine. However, if I can cut it here, I'm adding taper, I'm changing direction, I think it's a better tree. So let's do it. So with my hybrid cutters, I'm just going in from the back and taking that off, another cutting as well. Got a couple of dead little branches that I'll just take off nice and cleanly. Just to clean the lines up. Before I move on to that ornamental holly, I just thought I'd show you this Japanese holly that I worked on in, I think it was sort of late spring, early summer. I bought it from a garden centre and it had some amazing roots at the base. I just wanted to show you. It's not really thrived this year because I did, you know, I repotted it and stuff, but it's survived, it's doing well, it's got some fruit, berries on it, and one for the future again. And this is what this tree's all about. This lovely base with all these gnarled roots and twisted kind of fat trunk. Love it. Before I decide what to do with this ornamental holly, if you're enjoying the content and you want to follow the progress of these trees, hit subscribe and keep up to date. So what should we do with this? I think it's a really nice little tree this. This only cost me £1.50, which is a bit of a bargain again. It's got nice variegated leaves which seem fairly small and they don't seem too sharp and spiky, unlike the normal holly. The problem is, what do I do up here? We've got four branches or trunks, whatever you want to call them, all emanating from basically the same point in a bit of a broom style. I could embrace the broom style and leave it like that, or I could chop 1, 2 or even 3 of these off. The first decision is to get rid of this thin one. It's in the way, it's got to go. That opens the centre up and lets me kind of decide now what I do want to do. with that gone, I can just clean up the wound off the first chop, just to cut it back a bit. And we can now see from here, we've got that nice curve going backwards. This definitely is going to go on as the main trunk. And this is more of a side branch. Can that go? I think it has to. We've basically got the same structure here that we had down below. And again, I'll just cut that off first to give me access. I quite like this one again as a branch. But by removing that top piece there, we've got a nice change in direction. And that's starting to create an interesting tree. From my perspective, you know, that's the way I look at them. It's got sort of a curve that way, then it's coming back, and it's developing some character. Just applying some cut paste where I've just cut the branches off, and this just helps to protect the tree during the winter and the autumn. I've got one of my branches that I cut off, that Japanese holly, and you can either just strip it off with your hands and then cut the top off back to something like that, maybe cut a bit more off, back to just that. Nice clean cut on the bottom, into the hormone powder, and just stick it in like that. It really is that simple. This one's a bit of a thicker one, and I won't do the end because that's a heel cutting where I ripped it off. And all I'll do with this is the same thing. Cut these branches back so there's not as much foliage on it. Like that. Dunk it in. You can make a hole with a chopstick or something, or you can just stab it in. The key is having plenty of stick in the ground so that it doesn't move. That seems to be the difference between failure and success for me. Now this holly, as I said before, I don't know if you can even propagate these in this way, but you've got nothing to lose, because I'd only be throwing it away if I didn't try and propagate it. So I just use the same principle, cutting lots of the foliage off, dunking it in the hormone, and then wedging it down in some soil. The last one is very short. I'm not sure that's even worth attempting. No, it's too short, that one. That's me done with these hollies today. I really enjoyed it, and as always, I find it, well, I wouldn't say fascinating, I just find it amazing that thousands of people watch my videos and are interested in watching me mess about with little sticks in pots and whatever. But I always appreciate the comments, you know, the likes and the interaction and everything, and thank you for watching. So as always, have a great day, and I'll see you soon.